Okay. Hey, what's up, everybody? I didn't think I was going to get here today, but I got up here today, so we're going to do a podcast. Chris is out. I don't know where Chris is, but you get me. So get your questions in. It's gonna be you, the few people that are listening, because I haven't been very consistent here on the podcast lately. I've been traveling a lot, but it's gonna be you and me. So give me some questions, and I'll try to answer as the best I can. But today I got some really good news for the Village's design studio. So for those of you who aren't aware, what my plan is, this building here becomes our sort of our hub, but this building becomes primarily bottling, labeling, light manufacturing, warehousing, and then of course shipping nationally here. Eventually, we'll probably end up with some sort of West Coast operation where we can ship to the West Coast more economically, and then, of course, we'll have our Canada center, Australia, UK, EU of some sort. So I'm kind of figuring out how this all fits together. But today I met with the Village's commercial development guys, and then my partner Bryn, and we kind of went through what can and can't be done. So basically, the bottom floor of the design studio will be a 4,500 square foot house. Actually, a 3,000 square foot house with a 1,500 square foot garage is really what it'll be. And so I want to have a garage with Rytec doors, clear Lexan Rytec doors. I just kind of gave my wish list of all the things I want to do. I want to put a drain in, slot drain. I want to be able to put attic stairs in. They're sort of faux attic stairs, but they'll be motorized. So magic stairs, Elair stairs, and then the magic lift. So I could show people, how that works and what that would be like. I wanted to be able to do a functional interior kitchen, so that way we could be doing. I could envision convincing Sam, the cooking guy, to come out and we host an event and show everybody all the cool stuff that we have. And so I want a functional indoor kitchen. Also, I'm working to become the Wolf Sub-Zero dealer here locally. And then I asked them if we could also build an outdoor kitchen. So not just a faux outdoor kitchen, but one that's outside, that's functional. And I think we're going to be able to do that too. And then my other request was that I take this in 3 stages. So the bottom floor, stage 1, then stage 2, stage 3 upstairs, and then eventually have all of our creatives and design upstairs working. Downstairs is our main showroom. Upstairs is where we do the design, where we have different cabinet colors and Swiss Trax colors and more displays for Wolf Sub-Zero stuff. And so that's what I'm planning to do there. It's about 150 yards from my house. So I'm pretty pumped about that, and I'm going to just treat it like my house. It's going to be the 3,000 square foot house that I really wanted to build, but it'll just happen to be public, where everybody can come in. Our hours are going to be 9 to 9, and then we're going to have install teams driving around all over the place. So that's, I think, going to be a pretty sick experience. So I worked on that today, and then I had some extra time to get up here today. So we're hosting Cars and Culture tomorrow. If you're somewhere in the area, come visit. We don't have anything great to show you. The building doesn't look beautiful, but kind of sharing people where we're at and taking people on tours of where we're headed and what this building will likely become. And then, just a chance to get a bunch of like-minded people together. I'm trying to involve the local community as well, the local, car community, getting them, out, and then hosting this regularly, once a month, hosting, we're calling it Cars and Culture event. And then you can come buy stuff in the store if you want, come get your hands on some stuff. And then eventually what I'd like to do is host one up here, and then the next month hosted by the design studio, and then, kind of flip back and forth. So that's my hope over time, to be able to do that. And so that's tomorrow. And then what I was doing here today was we're kind of getting this place cleaned up and organized. All the wallpaper starting to come off, so we're getting the wallpaper off and spackling the walls, getting the getting the chair rail off the walls, and then eventually then we'll paint, and then we'll change the lights. We're going to start painting the exterior of the building. So just one step at a time, getting this place set up has been the goal. But I walked around the building looking for things that were kind of sitting around. So we're going to have tons of fire deals as well on audio, tools, polishers, all kinds of stuff. I had, just kind of found some stuff laying around. So if you're thinking about coming, come here and ask my mom. She'll take you on a tour of all the fire deals that when I get cleaned up and out of here. So anyway, the plan is to host that. I think it's 9 to 12 tomorrow. Yeah, 9 to 12. So should be a fun time. All right, let me get to questions. Ask me some questions. Keep them coming in. Keep them coming now. Keep you up to date. Finally got my voice back from SEMA. I think I'm finally maybe on the last day. I've been freaking sick. Just kind of, not sick, but just kind of had like a cough and a runny nose. Just annoying. So I think I'm finally over that. Chris Riley says, posting first question, super intimidated to ceramic coat. Let's see, but the more I learn, the more comfortable I'm getting. First product to try, and any motivational words to kick me in the butt to do this or to coat. So, coating isn't really all that difficult. The coating is not the hard part. It's the polishing and the prep that's the hard part that I guess you could screw up the polishing. But I mean, if you do something, modern coatings aren't as permanent, so they easily polish off. So in the old days, you can make sort of an irreparable, mistake. Is that a word? Reparable? You can't repair a mistake on some of the original coatings. You'd have to go and sand it off, and even then, you're not really sure that it's off, and you could, really, really damage the paint and really mess up. You really can't do that today. So if you take it one small section at a time, and you just open your eyes and look at it, and just follow some of the tutorials that I've done or other people have done on how to do it, it's really, really quite simple, especially if you do something really forgiving. Like, I think Crystal Serum Light from G-Technic is the best, simplest coating to put on. You get an amazing result. Then you can top it with XOV5 if you want to, and you can end up with a really great user experience. So I think that, I wouldn't coat the car unless I was going to polish, and so the polishing part is the slightly more complicated part. So I wouldn't worry so much about the coating. You'll see, it's easier than waxing. You just wipe it on and wipe it off. Like, just put it on, with a suede applicator or some sort of applicator. You can see it very clearly. Even on a white car, you can still see the coating go on. And then just, do like if you're really nervous, do a 1 foot by 1 foot section, do one panel at a time, and just take your time and wipe it off. The biggest mistake you can make on a coating is pushing the product onto like the next panel and then not coming and wiping it, and then you're gonna have to polish later. But you really can't mess it up as long as you just follow all. Shoot, I've done it on camera 1,000 times. Get a bottle of CSL, put it on, have a couple of towels, wipe it off, and you'll be fine. Khalid says, glad to have you back, Matt. Thanks for that. I'm glad to be here. Have you tried ADS Amplify, and how does it compare to OG Drying Aid? Yeah, I had a bottle of it. It's not bad, but it's not even close. Remember, I'm not comparing Bradley's to mine. OG Drying Aid is not mine. It's B&B Slipstream that we take the color and scent out of. And so it's not like something I invented. So, I'm not like throwing shade at. I think the Armor line of products is one of the lines of products I'd choose if I was going to just pick one. I think CarPro's better. Geon's better. I think that Meguiar's Professional, it's kind of fallen behind. So I'd put the Armor line of products up there and say the top 10, if you will. Coach Chemi would be a brand if I could only choose one. I'd probably choose CarPro, and then G-Technic, and so there's a lot of brands that are miles, many years ahead. And so that's been a really interesting thing that I'm noticing. There's a lot of new or newer, DIY, content, YouTube creators, video creators, and they're comparing like all the new guys to each other. and then giving you their favorite. Well, what about all the originals that are way better than all of that stuff? And so I've kind of noticed this. Like, they'd be testing armor, pan, DIY detail, and some other new thing versus each other. Well, what about, why don't you pull the kings in? You have to knock the king off the pedestal. And so that's what the new brands are hoping to do. And so what good is doing a comparison if you're not doing a comparison with the king? And it's not like we're talking about Car Pro is $500 and armor is $60. No, they're both $60. Or Car Pro might even be cheaper. So in a lot of instances. So I'm not sure why this is going down. I mean, I'm sure that when you're new, you're trying to get as many views as you can. So you're pandering to what's popular at the moment. But, if anybody listens to this and you're doing that kind of stuff, go to the kings and then compare the new product to the king, not to another new product. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I just noticed this. Like, seems like every video that shows up in my feed, and then they always get me to click on it. I'm like, what am I watching? Catwill says Mera is there finally a trigger lock for Mera? So I met with the guy, actually flew in. What was his name? I should remember people's names. I'm terrible at it. So the head of product development flew in from Finland to come meet with Tommy and I at SEMA. And obviously to support the SEMA booth. And so we set up a time, where Jose and the team, we could sit down and talk about my plans and what, I had actually pitched them a business model for the Mera polishers. And I suggest that if they make these, it would take over the entire professional and, high-end enthusiast market. They'd make the best polishers in the world, and everybody else would be forced to catch up. Very similar to what Rupes did, 10, 12 years ago when they brought the stuff here to the U.S. with long throw DA. So I don't know how much I can share. I haven't signed any NDAs. I'll sign NDAs when the prototypes show up here. But I'm going to have a large say in what the product is and how it gets made. So the very first thing we need to do, obviously, is add a trigger lock. And what I'm looking to have happen, I made this, gave my very strong opinion. All of the legacy 3-inch, we would have to have some sort of way via the app to update the software to be able to add trigger lock. And I want a digital trigger lock, like a double tap of the trigger or something like that. So and then a single tap to release it. So I wanted it to be done through ECU. Because remember, the Mera 3-inch, the differentiator is there's no gear set. It's direct driven. And then there's a counterweight for the random orbit function, and then it's ECU driven. This is why it's so expensive. So it's electronically controlled instead of a stator and brushed motor and a simple potentiometer type trigger. It's much more sophisticated than it's a sort of a digital, if you would, it's a digital gearless polisher is why it's so much quieter and smoother. And so we wanted to make this digital gearless polisher in a 5-inch and a 1-inch. They already have a great 1-inch that's of the same tech, but it's a 3 millimeter denibber. It's not for polishing. It's really for sanding. It's the orbit is going to make it useless. So I want a 1-inch, a 3-inch, and a 5-inch. And so we start with having a double tap trigger lock via software in the 3-inch, which I'm hoping could be retroactive. So we could do some sort of software update, or maybe they could do even if it were send it in. I mean, if you can afford a $900 polisher, you can spend $30 to send it in and have the software updated. $30 on shipping. So I'm hoping we can have an upgrade path, because if I were you, I wouldn't want to wait on the Mera. I want it now. Thing's amazing. So then we would keep that same architecture throughout the line. So the 1-inch would be a double tap, the 5-inch would be a double tap, and whatever other machines we make in the future would be a double tap. But they have something that's going to be, I think, really interesting. So we have the 3-inch 12 millimeter orbit, I'm hoping for a 1-inch. That one will probably be last, but 1-inch, we should probably move that up the time frame because there really is no great 1-inch on the market currently. A lot of you guys like the ShineMate one, the EB2 something 240. That thing's freaking terrible. I just don't like. I'd gotten my hands on it for the first time. It's big. It's like you'd buy the PXE80. The PXE80 is really much better, for a few bucks more. The problem with the PXE80 from Flex is that it's a terrible 1-inch and it's a terrible 3-inch. It's too big for a 1-inch. It's too small, too dainty for a 3-inch. It's just not very good. I like it because I can put the little rope thingy on to polish underneath door handles. Even then, it's not great at that. So the thing that we're likely going to have, 3-inch trigger lock, that would be first. Then we're going to have a Duetto style, so the same 3-inch form factor, but with a 5-inch counterweight, 5-inch backing plate. And it'll probably stay some sort of odd orbit, 12, 13, 14 millimeter. I don't really care what the orbit is, as long as it's somewhat long throw and it's as balanced as possible. So that was my edict. It doesn't have to be this specific, mythical, 15 millimeter or 21 millimeter orbit. I don't care about that. What I care is that it's extremely balanced. If it's over 12, it's in the long throw category, and so we can. If it needs to be 13 millimeters or 14.25 millimeter orbit, I don't really care, as long as it's super smooth like the 3-inch. So the next machine will likely be same battery, same body, because that motor has so much headroom that it could theoretically operate a 5-inch backing plate. Now, it wouldn't be universal. It would need different ECU, different tuning, different counterweight. So it would be a separate standalone machine than the 3-inch. I was also very adamant, I don't want a hybrid machine. The hybrid machines, I understand why everybody wants a hybrid machine where it does different sizes, but then they don't work well for anything. It's kind of like getting a color selectable LED, then it sucks at all color temps. It's not. I'd rather have it be dedicated. I'd rather have 5 different things, 5 different lights, or 5 different polishers, and have them all have a dedicated, best-in-class function. So that will likely come next, and then the final would probably be a corded 5-inch with the same ECU-driven, direct drive, and then the final frontier would be the big, heavy-duty, 21 millimeter 5-inch or 15 millimeter 5-inch cordless, full-bodied, full-size machine. So we're working on it. But they showed me photos and pictures of prototypes. I'll sign some NDA paperwork, so I won't be able to share it with you. I'll ask, what I could share, but I won't be able to share the actual units with you until it's done. But we're going to make it happen. And then what I'm asking them, say, if I'm going to share all my secrets of what I want done here, then I want to be the exclusive worldwide distributor for this thing. Just let me sell it to everybody. So lots of fun stuff coming for Mera. It's going to happen. We're going to make it happen. Hey, Matt, wanted to see if there are any new products that caught your attention at the SEMA show. There really wasn't. I actually talk about this on the Wash and Talk that'll be up on Thanksgiving, where I was washing and talking about washing the GT3 RS for the first time, in months. It feels good to finally wash a car. I think the upward trajectory, the exponential, certainly the exponential increase, when Rupes long throw came and then resin deliver silicon dioxide based coatings really took off and the functionality of the chemistry improved, and we've had many different soaps and different products that to cater to that, many different toppers and drying aids and different sealants and interior cleaners and all this kind of stuff. Actually, there hasn't been much on the interior front, has there? But different coatings have really exponentially changed the industry. 2-3 years ago, there was a fake out of graphene, which graphene is a bunch of nonsense, where we had hoped that a lot of companies were sort of lying to us, but we had hoped that, okay, there was this next frontier of coating and water spot resistance, and there we were in that next upward swing, or we were continuing the upward swing. But Rupes, long throw DA, resin delivered, silicon dioxide based coatings, those two things completely changed how we care for the car. And then I had a small part in the functional cleaning with foam cannon, short gun, pressure washer, with Krenzla, and the development of the Mossmatic gun and the MTM guns and stuff like that over the last 10 years or so. So we've had this exponential increase, a rise in product performance. Car paint systems haven't changed. We just sort of finally caught up to the car paint systems and have been able to protect them better. There's been lots of strides in PPF and colored PPFs, and so we've seen this remarkable industry change over the last decade. I think those days are over, unless we change the paint, the way that they paint cars. I don't foresee another sort of exponential increase or big jump in product tech. And so I've noticed this with pressure washing. We haven't, there is no exponential, increase in product performance. Once I tested all the pressure washers, from here on out, all new pressure washers, we just wanted to compile a data subset. There's nowhere to go from here. You have 120 volts coming out of a wall, 15 amps to work with. You can only get so much out of that. And so what are we gonna do? We might be able to make some improvements, but generally speaking, we've kind of reached the limit there. Kind of reached the limit of what we're going to do with car paint. Now, there can be new products that, like the Mera, that comes out. There can be a new coating that performs a little bit better. But these performance differences are going to be, a lot of it will be subjective. All these guys doing all this testing, the testing. So I would argue that testing's been done on pretty much all detailing fronts. Notice why you don't see me testing stuff. There's no need to test. We have great stuff already. We have a great pressure washer. We didn't have that data, 5 years ago. Now we do. And so then you have the copycats coming in and testing, testing coatings, testing like the taping off the hood with all the different products. It's kind of done. I don't know what people are doing. You're wasting your time, because the products we have are great. They'll make minor improvements, and we'll, now we just need to make more people aware of this great process that you can administer to your vehicle to really, make the paint last longer and look better. So what I noticed at SEMA this year was we're running around and we're just not, years past, like first year, 500 things I find. Second year, 400 things. Next year, 300 things, 200 things. And it expanded at, say, year 4 or 5 for me, and then I was into cabinets in the garage, and it wasn't just detailing, and it was, then tools, and so the frontier of the garage, at least for me, has been explored and mapped. And now all we're doing is we're gathering a little bit more refined data on building our map. What is the elevation? How wide is the river? Making a three-dimensional map, if you will, to sort of cover all of our bases and making minor improvements. Picking, slightly better speakers for the garage, and maybe adding a slat wall or something like that. Just adding some things to it, adding some things here and there to the detailing line, and making minor tweaks. But that remarkable change, it just so happened that I started making videos during this remarkable shift in tech. The garage wasn't anything remarkable because all the stuff that I'm selling now already existed. I just didn't know about it, and many people didn't know about it. So I'm running around SEMA, and we took like 10 business cards and 5 brochures and have half a dozen things that are interesting. But in most, there really isn't a whole heck of a lot of new because of what I explained before. So nothing really earth-shattering. The biggest conversation was that, can we take this tech that Mera put into this 3-inch polisher and expand upon that? It doesn't mean that, if you had invested in a Rupes set and you're a professional and you don't want to invest another $3,000-$4,000 in machines, I would totally understand that and probably wouldn't recommend it. Now, if you're a baller and you have a bunch of Ferraris and whatever, you just want the latest thing, then spend the $5,000 on new polishers. So anyway, that's my take from SEMA here recently. Larry Gartijo says, greetings from, what is that? Chi with an H at the end of it. Mexico. Chihuahua, maybe. Yeah. Cool. Good. It's good to see you. Let's see. When does the Black Friday sale go live? It'll go live. Black Friday, or like midnight, day before. It already is live for Inside the Hex members now, right? So if they're an Inside the Hex member, Monday, not now. I'm thinking this week. On Monday it goes live. Everybody else, it goes Friday. Let's see. I'm ordering the advanced 2-car lighting solution, so I plan 8 to 12 weeks of delivery. I would say a solid 6 to 8 weeks. Yes, I'm working on that. I would say by first quarter next year, we will have it in stock. The reason why, I am the only person in America, probably in the world, that wants 90 CRI, 5K, 12,000 lumen fixtures. Every single office building is doing 80 CRI, generally 8,000 lumen, and they're not doing 5K, right? They're doing 3K or 3,500 or maybe 4,000 Kelvin. So having and I didn't know this, I just assumed that they just were terrible at making stuff. It's no, every single time I order, they're built to order. And so we need to get a darn blanket order in. And so that's what our representatives, Chris Buckaloo and the team that I buy from are getting. There are Cree representatives are getting that worked out so we can have them in stock in the warehouse, ready to ship. But yes, if you order it now, I would plan on 8 weeks. Is Koshkemi rinseless wash RRW coming to the store? I'm not sure yet. I have a bottle of it. I need to play with it. I find McKee's N914 to be exactly what I want. That's another product that everybody's chasing. Everybody's got a new rinseless product, and everybody's rinseless product is better. And I see all these people doing all these tests, but the tests prove nothing. Absolutely nothing. Unless you're going to get a microscope out, I'm not sure what you're proving. The thing I like about McKee's, it's surfactant-based, and it doesn't leave anything behind. I don't want any protection. And so it works great. And that's what RRW does as well. So I'm going to try it out and see if it's remarkably better. It certainly is a prettier bottle. Speaking of Koshkemi, we brought it back. It is in stock. I wouldn't wait till Black Friday. I would just go buy it right now. You're going to save $3 or whatever. So I would buy it right now. GFX, I'd buy 4 bottles of it. That's what I bought. Well, that's what I took off the shelf, 4 of them. I don't want to use it all year because it's kind of fun, to do the GFX. So it's GSF, but with a Christmas scent. It smells amazing. We have 15 high order, 1,500. I'm sure a bunch of it's already gone. I wouldn't wait till Black Friday because it's going to roll. We'll probably sell out of it pretty quickly. And it's freaking awesome. I think best soap on the planet, and then best smelling, Christmas smelling version of the best soap on the planet. So it is here. It is in stock. It's in the store. It's live. It's ready to roll. If you can put a link in the description there, Tim, so people can go and order it. Oh, thanks for all the questions, everybody. They're going to help me out here. Let's Let's see. Finally visiting from PA. Cars and Culture tomorrow. Expecting a big turnout. I don't know. Yeah. Although I'm getting lots of text messages from people saying, "Hey, can you get me a spot?" And I'm like, I don't think it'd be a big deal, but man, it could be funny if 1,000 people show up and we shut the town down. I don't know what would happen then. So I don't know. I'm not sure. I plan on getting here early just in case. My guess is we'll have 100 people or so, and then we're going to grow it from there. And the guys have a pretty good plan. I'm going to wash my Evo live, theoretically, and we're going to have a lot of, I think, local guys, local car guys, local villagers. So I think it'd be cool to kind of show them here's the wash process and show them a foam cannon and all that stuff. So let's see. When is a good time to change the oil on the 1322 TS? If you're using it in your garage at your house, I'd say 2 years in the manual. If you're a stickler for the rules, it's 50 hours. So after the first 50 hours of operation, so you could kind of keep track of it. 50 hours would probably be 100 washes. If even that, I think it'd probably be more like 200 washes. You'd probably only run the thing for 25 minutes a wash if you're lucky. And so I think that you could probably get by most guys, 3, 4, 5 years, So my very first K1122, I think I had for 8 years before I changed the oil on it. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. The thing's pretty darn bulletproof. Spencer says, "Hey Matt, working on HVAC in my shop, planning on doing floor heat. Curious how this would affect Swiss Trax flooring over it." I don't think it'd be a problem at all. The floor heat, and what's the floor going to get to? 100 degrees, maybe. So I would think you'll be fine. It'll maybe make your Swiss Trax a little more pliable in the winter, or it's not as brittle feeling. But I don't think it'll affect it at all. But I'm sure some people have done it. I haven't tested it. But I think you'll be fine. Should we expect holiday vlogs this year? Yes. So I'll do a family Thanksgiving vlog for Inside the Hex, but we're going to do live streams on Black Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday. We have a whole schedule planned, so make sure you're checking out the channel during the holiday weekend. We'll be here messing around, shooting video. Matt, have you ever looked at Buster and Punch light switches or other similar options? Yeah, I actually follow them on Instagram. I found them from, Kilwin Construction, who I found from McGee & Co., who I found from watching, was her name Suzanne McGee on Netflix. And that one house they did in Utah was sick. But anyway, so Kilwin is the guy, the big jacked guy who does all of their construction stuff for them. And I saw him post something about Buster and Punch. I don't know that I would like those. I like the cleanliness of Lutron, but they do make some pretty cool looking stuff. Like they're made out of I think forged aluminum they're cutting out, they're CNCing like steel switches and stuff. It's pretty neat. Let's see. Matt, have you tried Chemex Stars and Stripes? If you're willing to compare it to Built Hammer Touchless. If not, are you willing to compare to Built Hammer Touchless? See, I think that's a really hard thing to compare, right? Because you don't know what the product's doing, other than you're looking at what it's doing to the surface. This is the same argument I have with Auto Foam, which is the I forget which is the sort of pre-cleaning snow foam from Kosh Chemi. I'm certain that no one has done the testing chemistry-wise, chemically, that Built Hammer has done. Part of my reluctance to do a high alkaline pre-cleaner or a snow foam, pre-cleanser to my coating is I didn't want to strip the darn surface of all the protection. I don't want to strip it off. I would want to do that prior to decon. And so I've used like Geon foam, and I've used all these different foam products over the years, and they'd rip the surface, they'd rip the wax and sealant right off the car. And I don't want to attack my coating. I want it to help remove some surface level dirt. And so, although I'm certain the Chemex products works, they're using it on big trucks as their specialty, on big rigs and farm equipment, stuff like that. I'm certain that the Coach Chemi version works, but what is it doing to the coating? And I guess what I could do is just use it for months and months and months and figure out if my coating's still working or not. But I don't see why we would need to do that. We know that Built Hammer works extremely well. We know that Pete has done extensive chemical under the microscope testing. We also know that they're proximity it to G-Technic, and I know that Pete and Robert at G-Technic have a great relationship. We know that it works extremely well in the G-Technic coatings, Geon coatings, CarPro coatings. If you're not using one of those three, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know why. You need to veer from that. And so I just don't know how you test it other than just beating up your car for a while with the Chemex or the other. It's not like touchless is crazy expensive. In fact, you probably use less product because it's uber concentrated. So that's my take on it. So I don't know what the Chemex stuff is doing to the surface. I know what Built Hammer is doing to the surface. So let's see. Are the blue Russo cabinets you ordered going somewhere, or should I email you about buying them? Spencer, no. They are going into the design studio, so they are earmarked and ready to go for that. Okay. Did the nice, expensive Japanese scissors sell or stay with the house, or do they come with you? They were here at HQ, so they're in my desk drawer here. So, actually, I hope they are. I better go look. I think that they're in my desk drawer. So, otherwise, I'm stealing those from Rusty. He's not getting those scissors. Let's see. How about Obsessed Garage develops something like a detailing van? I mean, the guy to go to for detailing van is Ralda Details. I mean, I don't do that. I don't plan on going and doing mobile detailing for a living. I guess it could be a backup plan. But, I mean, I think you have to immerse yourself into that to become an expert in it. And so I could jank something together, but I think that there's guys out there that are going to do a much better job that already exists. So I'm not the guy for that. Let's see. I don't know what 86 was asking. Well, that would be a video of what? Live stream the event so people can't be there. I think we're going to try to video me doing the wash and talk. You ever going to test pan stuff? Probably not. You mentioned a garage door insulation type on Facebook a couple weeks ago. Anything you can let us in on that? Yes, it's freaking sick. So my friend Jeremy Shapiro, who is a lifelong window tint and like commercial tinter, has developed this technology It's like a very sophisticated radiant barrier that is a magnetic system that's a very DIY type, very easily installed, heat rejecting, very thin, clean looking. It'll be either black or white. We're hoping to launch first quarter next year. It'll be relatively inexpensive, and you'll sort of cut to fit and put it on your garage door, where it basically, if you're in the South, you would have the hurricane shutters, but regardless, your door is generally going to be some sort of metal, and so it would just magnetize right to it and send like 80% of the heat back out the garage door. Much, much simpler and much, much more efficient than going and cutting foam. You could do it in combination to foam if you wanted to. So you could do foam, core insulation. I think it'd be unnecessary. We've been testing a version of it here. The new version is about, it's like 1/10. It's like 10% of the thickness, so 90% thinner than the stuff that I have here. It's really, really sweet. And it's going to be, a couple $100 to do your garage door, and will save you an insane amount of heat will reject a whole bunch of heat. So we'll have it very soon. I'll be the sort of exclusive distributor for it, and we're going to have it out hopefully in the next few months. Let's see. Hey, Matt, Warren from Helen, and wanted to formally invite you and your family for all you do to the OG to my new restaurant in Helen. Ooh, called Campfire Gather Round. Heck yeah. First-time business owner. I'll definitely want to come up there. We're coming up December 5th, so we'll shoot some video there if you want. I'd love to come and promote it and come check out the restaurant. So we'll come up for sure. Hit me up, shoot me an email, and we'll get something coordinated and make sure we come and bring the crew and make sure that we turn all the the Helen goers to go and enjoy the restaurant. We certainly something we need in Helen is some restaurants, that's for sure. No need to test Pan stuff. It's the best, period. There's zero chance of that. Sorry, Pan, but no chance. None. On the whole line, there is no whole line that's the best, period. And that's what I just talked about earlier. So no offense to Pan or anybody. No one has the best of everything. It's just not. It's it's like hitting the lottery every time you play it. And Matt, if I wanted to run a Krenza 1322S on a 15 amp circuit, what orifice would you recommend I use for the gun and foam cannon? So I would get a 4.0 and a 4.5. Try the 4.0. It'll probably be okay. If it's a clean, like if it's a 15 amp circuit, doesn't have a bunch of other stuff on it, like lights and outlets and TV and everything on it. If it's clean, it'll probably run with the gun and wand with a 4.0 40 degree nozzle. And then on the foam cannon, you're going to need to run a 1.5. If you run the 1.5, you may need to use a little more concentrated soap. Get in the habit of warming the water, so doing soap in warm water to get proper foaming action. But it does work and works pretty well. But you do the 1.5 orifice for your foam cannon, and then worst case would be 4.5 on the 1322. So you'll probably be running 800 psi at a little over 2 gallons a minute, which will be fine. You won't notice a whole heck of a lot of difference. Maybe 850 psi at 1.95 gallons a minute. You'll be fine there on a 4.5 nozzle. Okay. So Juice Free was messing with me. Okay, cool. Yeah. Let's see. EU warehouse when? My guess would be late next year, if Canada goes well. Let's see. Way too many products these days. Well, I mean, a lot of products, have kind of gone away, and new products kind of replaced them, and that'll always be the case. Any plans to sit down, chat with Josh and Keeve? Those are really interesting. I'll do something with Josh soon. I talked to Keeve a little bit at SEMA, so maybe I'll hit those guys up and do something at some point. Not too distant future. Do you remember the Mosmatic surface cleaner that you recommend for cleaning under pickup trucks? On the podcast, you mentioned there was a better option for that application than the OG model. Yeah, so it's the... Let me look it up for you here. Let me go to Mosmatic.com. Mosmatic USA. Mosmatic Corporation. Products. Accept all. Let's see here. Car wash. Let's go to the products here. Not the booms. The wheel blaster. Nope, that's not the category. Maybe it's under high pressure. Yeah. It's called the Hurricane. No, the Hurricane Flip is the one that we do. That's the little one. It's called the Hurricane, not the Hurricane Flip. So it's Hurricane. It's pretty expensive. It's pretty robust. But it's the one you need for doing like big trucks and stuff. I may end up getting one for the Bronco. I'm going to test out the Hurricane Flip. But that one is designed to work with, trucks being taller. And it has like this double handle thingy. It's pretty robust. It's really expensive, but it's the one you'd want for trucks if you're really wanting to get into it. Pull up one thing again here. So yeah, the Hurricane. Given that you're the exclusive U.S. distributor of Built Hammer, do you have plans of carrying more of their exceptional product line? Yes. So I don't think that Obsessed Garage will sell it, but we will be selling it on BuiltHammer.com. So it'll be U.S. We will fulfill it direct from the website. We will also be selling it likely through Car Supply's Warehouse, the Rag Company. And Car Supply's Warehouse. Sky's the Limit. So CarPro US or Corey's site. So we will have multiple distributors. So we'll have a West Coast distributor, Central distributor, East Coast distributor, and so all those guys will be carrying the full line as well. Very likely here. That plan is for. We're bringing the second round of products probably first quarter, and then the next round of products the second quarter. So we'll probably have all the retail stuff here in the U.S. come June, July, August, something like that next year. Hey, Matt, due to the lack of clearance between ceiling and garage door tracks, back 1/3 of the garage, or my 20 by 20 garage, I'm looking for recessed lighting to accompany my first gen OG LED fixtures. So you need 5K, right? So we need 5,000 Kelvin fixtures. And so I think you're going to want the SLG lights. That's what I have in Helen to complement. So you would just go get like a Halo can from Home Depot, put the cans in, and then you would want to put cans in, and then do the SLG retrofits. Let's see. Maddie, your recommendation on water spot remover for auto and home, specifically for windows and glass. I've seen Sud Factory, Chemical has offerings, but mixed reviews. So water spot removers don't really work. If it's on glass, we've had a lot of success with 3D. It's called 3D something or other. Let me look it up here. 3D water spot. I think that's what it is. It's like a water spot gel. Eraser gel, I think it's called. Yeah. 3D eraser gel water spot remover for specifically designed for glass. So that stuff is pretty nasty, but that's the one you'd want for glass. You can try vinegar first. And then if that doesn't work, then you can do that. And you also have Siri glass. We'll definitely take the CarPro Siri glass with a rayon pad. We'll definitely take it out. But yeah, just the chemical water spot remover probably isn't going to work. Do you think it is necessary to use regular car shampoo, GSF, if an alkaline wash like AF does the job? Again, I want a pH neutral soap. I don't want to attack my, drying aid or top coat that I put on the car. A lot of people like auto foam, but and I guess one could argue that a coating is pretty strong, but I don't know. I'm using my strong wash with Built Hammer Touchless, and then I just want a pH neutral, nice, easy soap to work with. That's preference, but I'm sure auto foam is fine as well. You could, or active foam. Sorry, active foam is I think would probably be pretty similar to what is it? CarPro Reset. Let's see. Any detailing products? We talked about that from SEMA. Are you just saying the Merca is brushless? No, it's different. Brushless is so you have, let's see, you have induction motor would be brushless. I haven't torn it apart, and I'm not an expert in motors, electric motors. I think we talk about this very specifically with Sebastian in the video of, gosh, my brain is not working today. The LE video with Sebastian from LE, and we talk about what that thing actually is. I don't know if we talked about that off camera. I'm pretty sure he explains what it is. Brian Shaper says, you're a finance guy. Give us your thoughts on the real hot topic right now, Bitcoin. It's gone parabolic, which is generally not good, but who the heck knows? I don't know how to manage that stuff. So it sure seems as though, Bitcoin is becoming much, much more viable for use. But I mean, none of us, I don't use Bitcoin to buy anything. So right now it's just a sort of a store of value, which is kind of nonsense. So I don't know that I believe it yet, but at some point I think it becomes believable. So I don't know, man. I mean, if you haven't bought it, I'm certainly not buying more of it at the moment, but who the heck knows? $20 John Freeze, thanks for the super chat. Matt, if you're buying a new MacBook Pro 14 or 6-inch, would you do 14 or 6-inch? Would you do space black or silver, nano glass or not? So I'm buying 16-inch for sure. I have a 16-inch. This is an M2 Max MacBook Pro. They didn't have black on M2, M3. They gave us the black option. I'd do black, even though you'd have to clean it a little bit more often. I think the black is super, super cool. I have the nano texture glass on my my Pro XDR display. I wouldn't do it again. It kind of dulls the image. I guess the main advantage, though, the nano textured glass on the laptop, maybe it would stay cleaner a little bit more. Shoot. Now you got me second guessing. Right now I have a smudge on the screen as we speak. I clean it with Bill Hammer Touchless all the time. And then I'm going full spec. I want a 4 terabyte hard drive. I want 128 gigs of RAM. I want, I'm loading that sucker up. And the difference between an M2 and an M4, I'm not going to buy it. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to get the Mac Mini for my office at home, and then and that way I'll just have a fixed computer there, and then I'm going to keep my M2 Max for now. But yeah, I'd do 16 space black or the black version, and then man, I would probably go tried and true and just stick with the regular screen. Hope that helps. All right, let's go back up to the top here. That was the active phone question. We talked about Bitcoin. I would argue against Bitcoin and stocks being Ponzi schemes. That's nonsense. Did you ask Merker to adopt a new colorway instead of yellow? Yeah, I told him I want to make it blue. We'll see. Let's see. When will we see new press-all spray bottles and squeeze bottles? God dang. They're done. They're great. They're darn near perfection. I'm just trying to work out the pricing so they don't cost $30 a piece. So every conversation with the Germans takes 3 weeks. So I'm working on it. It should have been. We should have them right now, but I'm hoping to order the darn container with new stainless tips that you could retrofit on your old sprayers. Bottles, spray heads, completes, the whole thing. I don't know. I'm hoping soon. Hybrid products are almost always levels of awesome. What's TV VCR? Yeah, TV VCR levels of awesome. TV VCR combo levels of awful, not awesome. We learned our lesson. We don't need to repeat it. Do one thing and do it well. Ben Fenner, I completely agree. What do you think of DIY Details cordless polisher from Ivan? The prototype he had was reasonably smooth. the battery idea is kind of nifty. Getting it out of the way there, it's kind of nice. The problem is that, Ivan is always going to go the value route. I don't want the value route. I want the awesome route. I want it to make it awesome. And so, he's probably going to target a certain price point, which means that it's going to be likely not at the standard of quality that I'm looking for. But who knows? I just don't. I like that it's a 25 millimeter orbit, something different. Seemed pretty decent, but I don't know. It probably won't make the cut for me. You mentioned a UK EU warehouse. As many of your products are made in the EU, will European customers see adjusted prices when ordering from local warehouses? Yes, that's actually something that's caused the Canadian holdup. If I'm buying something from the in country, like I'm expecting Tool Grid to be cheaper for Canadians than for U.S. citizens because I got to bring it into the U.S. But I guess it depends on the currency at the moment. But yeah, if I have a margin, I'm going to keep the margin the same, try to in both areas. And so if I'm buying built hammer in the UK, I want to go to built hammer UK prices if I'm selling it in the UK. So 100%, I think that'd be a huge advantage in the future. If I'm selling an Australian product in Australia, then I would, hope that it would be less there than it would be in the U.S. I guess it could happen at times if the dollar is really strong, that, even if I'm buying something that's made in Canada, because I'm able to buy it at, with a currency advantage, that it may be cheaper in the U.S. But yeah, I was very adamant. I want different prices, not just a simple currency conversion, but I want to have a different price in each country to make it appropriate, if that makes sense. Let's see. That's a great question, by the way. I haven't tried OG Drying Aid or any B&B strip stream variant. Does it give the same level of insane gloss as Beadmaker? Yes, but it doesn't have any of the drawbacks to Beadmaker. It flashes quicker, doesn't smear, doesn't theoretically attract dust that some people experience, and it gives us that same kind of look. Oh shoot, Ben. Yeah, you still refrigerating the butter like a chump? I need to get that. What is that darn butter thing called? The Butter Bell? God dang it! I'm gonna order one. I gotta order one tonight. I'll get that done. Butter Bell. Yeah, I'm still doing that. Will coatings fill mass scratches to any extent? No, like zero. Won't do any of that. Any interest in the GT4S now that the prices are coming down on them? Seeing lots for selling for around sticker now. Funny you should ask that, AFH. Despite the stress that I now have, Tom Walsh called me. My heart sunk. It's always bad timing. It was the same bad timing when I ordered the GT3 Touring. I've got my GT4 RS allocation. May build. He's checking on Euro delivery for me. And that was the only requirement. They wanted me to do Euro delivery so I can make some content, promoting the dealership. So GT4 RS is coming. I'm doing Arctic Silver. I'm doing Deep Sea Blue interior, the interior inserts. And I'm probably going to do the Deep Sea Blue, the blue magnesium wheel option. So, yeah, GT4 RS I'm getting at sticker for sure for me. Jeff C. says, how are the ProSlat Core toolboxes? Will I be able to order one through OG with Hex Plus discount? Yes, you can order through OG. They're really nice. I mean, it's the same. That I actually prefer the handles on the Core toolboxes. So those handles are actually going to be coming very soon to the. They're coming to the Fusion tool cabinets. So. And they're going to come in, black or silver. So yeah, I think it's a great option for a toolbox. I would rather have a Rousseau. I would rather have I'd probably still rather have a Lista box. But those are going to be probably 25% more expensive. I'd rather have a Sonic, the Sonic Next box over a Core. but it is a nice option. So Core, I think, is a nice acceptable option. I haven't checked the pricing on Core. If the Sonic Next box is less or close to Core, I would pick the Sonic Next. And then from there you go to Russo or Lista. If you want, hit me up. I'll sell you my darn Russo or Lista box. I'll put it on a pallet and ship it to you. They're a little bit used, because I've been using them, but I do need to sell at least one of those puppies. I have the red Russo box. I think they're both 60-inch boxes. The Lista is a better configuration than the Russo. The fit and finish on the Russo is better than the Lista, but I'll sell you either one of those dirt cheap. Just hit me up. I ordered Traceless about a month and a half ago. Any updates? Yep, they have the boxes made, and it, I believe, is sitting in customs. And so the ETA was the 25th, so it could show up tomorrow, could show up the 30th, could show up any day. But yeah, it should be shipped out here. It should be shipped out of here very, 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 very soon. Let's see. Did you happen to get your hands on the SB and the machines SB3 is coming out with? I mean, that'll probably just be a Chinese wonk. I mean, you can't beat Rupes, and you can't beat. I don't think you can beat LE unless it's an OE LE machine. Yeah, that's not going to be good. Most of those guys are just looking to support their core audience with something like Adams, griots. They're just looking to support their audience. So I doubt it's going to be any good. I think Jeff W. asked, I think I know your answer, but if I have a $5,000 to $6,000-ish budget, should we take a nice trip for my 40th next spring, or is that big enough budget for a 2-car reno? I think you should take that $5,000 or $6,000 budget and go to Helen. That would be pretty sick. It would just be the start of your garage. So if you had a 2-car garage, you could probably do your floor and lights. And yeah, and I guess if you did like the prime lights and maybe a little bit of car wash and stuff. So I wouldn't take a trip. I would buy stuff. You get to use that forever. Yeah, GFX is awesome. You got to get it. Okay, let's see. Matt, for closets in the house, DMF recessed or surface mount, remodel, old work. I do have attic access above the closets. Also, which Kelvin for closets? For closets, I think you do 3,500. I think that if there aren't any lights in there, then I would do recessed, and it's much cleaner. The surface mount ones I generally only do if I don't have access. So I didn't have access in mine as much, so I did the surface mount ones. YouTubers are now doing dual pressure washers. I can see you come up with. I got to see you come up with the idea. It's cool to see an original idea from the point of inception. Honor the source. Hello from Pittsburgh, PA. I'm in Irwin part of Pittsburgh. What part did you grow up in before you moved to East PA? I grew up in Saxonburg. I went to Knock Junior High School and Clinton Elementary in Butler, very, very southern part of Butler County. And all my relatives lived in New Kensington, Cheswick, and then my mom cleaned houses in Fox Chapel. So we were in northern Allegheny, southern Butler County, rural Butler County. Any updates on the new $1,000 compressor? I talked to Roman. I gotta get going on that. We gotta do it. Matt, great to hear Kyle from RR mention you guys were dialing in his shop. Looking forward to that. Yeah, I actually have to talk to Cree at 3:45 today about his lighting. So we're going to be doing some Cree LS there. He's going to freaking love that. Any updates on the vacuum hose? I heard the original is cracking. It's fully up to date. We sent out new hoses to everybody who bought one, and so the new hose is great. What happened is there's a really tight radius inside of the Cox reel. and just over time it would heat up and split. And so now we have one that won't split, and so it's good to go now. Let's see. This is a 16-inch MacBook, which we talked about earlier. Is there a chart on your website that shows which wattage to choose for Sacco A19 standard LED light bulb? No, it really just comes down to color temp. If you have a dimmer, then just go for the big boys, the 100-watt equivalent. But I mean, in most cases, you're going to just do the 60-watt equivalent, and that's what I do. Unless you're doing unless you're doing something that is what is it? Oh, a vanity. Like if you're doing like a sconce on a vanity, you may want the 40-watt version. But generally, the 60-watt equivalent is the way to go. Also, do they sell fogged lens Sacco bulbs? I don't like the fogged versions because they're always the heat-sinked ugly version. But Sacco does have them. If you need them, we can get them. Or you can probably find them on Amazon or something. But they are available. Matt, how's the Marantz the Cinema 30? I've ordered the 40, still made in Japan. It's pretty great. I mean, interface is good. It's working great. Sounds great. It's awesome. I love a receiver that doesn't have any. The only thing I noticed that occasionally I have to turn it on and the audio doesn't sync. I never had that issue with any of the NAD stuff, but other than that only happens once in a while, maybe once a week. We talked about the traceless coming, so you get your orders in now, and it'll ship out, it's really soon. Hopefully, we get it before Black Friday. So I would, again, if you haven't bought traceless, just go frickin' order it right now, and buy a 5-liter, buy a 1-liter. You're gonna want it. I'm testing it out in a press-all bottle because Pete did say that he has like a special liner in his bottles because it was eating through it. Let's see. Excited for the magnetic garage liners. Yep, the insulation is probably not going to do much for cold. So that's where you would want the combination of it's not going to do anything for cold. So you would want to do the foam insulation to keep the heat in, and you'd want to do the radiant barrier or that magnetic insulation to keep the heat out, from the sun. Let's see where are we at here. My mom just called me, and she is going to buy a $65,000 SUV in like an hour. She asked if she should pay cash. I said I wouldn't. What is your opinion? Well, I mean, if you have cash, why not? You just pay for it. I mean, it depends on what the rate is. I mean, like on the Bronco, I financed the Bronco, not the whole Bronco bill, but just the Bronco because I didn't have a ton of extra cash as we were buying inventory for Black Friday. And I got, 3%, 36 months, so I took that. But if you're getting 7 or 8%, I'd say just pay cash. When did the Solo Sprayer get the OG livery? I watched every single video, but only found on the website by chance. Yeah, I just talked about it, funny, in the latest Wash and Talk. It just came. We just got it, like, last week. Let's see. Where are we at here? Make sure I didn't miss any super chats. Let's see. Did you say Canadian warehouse? Yes, the Canadian warehouse will be in Toronto at the Mantis Tool Grid place. Let's see. So we'll be shipping out of Canada here any week now. What car did you sell in the past 5 to 7 years that you would buy again? The main one that I would like to buy again is a Carrera Carrera S at 2014, 15, 16. So in a perfect world, I would have my white Carrera S back as my daily driver car. And so I've been kind of looking. I don't have any room to put it. I have the GT4 RS coming. I have 2 Emiras coming, and I have a Bronco coming. So I got to sell some stuff. And I no longer have a big warehouse with a garage to put anything in. It's going to be at least 6 months before I build. So what I'm racing to have done is I'm going to have the design studio done prior to my GT4 RS getting here. I think I'll be able to pull that off. And so the Meras will be here, probably parked in the darn driveway. So when the Bronco gets here, I'm going to really actively work on selling the Evo. Maybe I'll try to sell the Evo tomorrow, put a for sale sign on it. And so the Bronco will be here around Christmas time. And then, my GT3 RS and my M3 theoretically aren't going anywhere. So my M3 is not running at the moment. But yeah, I would buy I think there's something wrong. I think I had some bad gas. And so I think that my plugs need to be replaced, spark plugs. I'm going to buy at some point a Carrera GTS in white. In a perfect world, it would have carbon ceramics, center locks, and Burmester, and there was one for sale on Auto Trader. It might still be up there, but I'm not in the market to buy it at the moment. Thoughts on the new AR Blue all stainless pressure washer? That was the pressure washer we had here. It functions pretty well. If we're going to put that enclosure on it, I talked to him about this. I want it to be a silenced enclosure. So in a perfect world, it would be stainless enclosure that's silenced, much like the Compact X air compressor. So I think it has potential. Microfiber 3.0 is probably first quarter, so they're working on getting the towels made, and we're probably a couple of months out. Levrack will be part of the Black Friday sale. CarPro Lift, not Reset, I guess maybe. CarPro Lift is equivalent to Active Foam Touchless. They're all alkaline. Got it. Because Reset is slightly acidic. Good call. Hey, Matt, I'm going to be in Orlando December 3rd and like to drive up and see your new place. Is your team open for a tour? What is December 3rd? That's Tuesday, I think. Yeah, we'll be here. Yep, just come on in. If you want to make sure, email Chris at obsessedgarage.com and he'll make sure you get a good tour. Everybody loves giving tours here. Come on up. Matt, have you messed with Jesscar Ultra and 845 yet? No, I haven't. Do you know when Touchless will be? Touchless is available, isn't it? Yeah, Touchless. You order it now, and we'll ship it out right today. What did you say? You clean your laptop lift? I clean my laptop with Traceless, Built Hammer Traceless. Freaking clean everything with Built Hammer Traceless. Oh, super chat. Martin says, Alligator Window Film Solutions, would you do a screen share video speccing the GT4 RS like you did with the Lotus and the Aston? Curious on your thoughts on spec as you build. I guess I would. I kind of already did it. I think the build is the same. So, but I'll probably do it again for sure. So, as I go through it and nail it. So I'm doing Arctic Gray, not Arctic Silver. It's the launch color for the car. That's what I want. And I want to do blue wheels, I think. I'm going to get crazy. I hope I don't hate it. I might bail on that at the last moment. Hey, Matt, I never polished a car before. Should I get the Mera as one and only polisher as it is idea of its smaller size? No. A 3-inch, trying to polish a whole car with a 3-inch is not going to be fun, especially since it doesn't have a trigger lock. If you're going to get only one polisher, you're going to buy a 5-inch and try to fit in as many places as you can. But really, you want 5-inch, 3-inch, and 1-inch. And my 5-inch, 3-inch, 1-inch combo is Milwaukee 5-inch cordless, 3-inch Mera, 1-inch long neck Nano. That's my 3 go-tos. But you would buy a 5-inch 5-inch first. Gosh, I'm struggling with my enunciation here today. Will Matt be the next YouTuber to buy a Veyron? I hate the Veyron. Even if he gave it to me, I wouldn't want it. I'm like, I don't want anyone to park it. I don't want it. The car sucks. Freaking terrible. Yeah, I wouldn't want it. There's no hyper cars that, 918, I like that. But even that, I don't really aspire to have. Like Wyras and even like 720S's. And it's just, my unicorn car would be a 458 Speciale. I mean, that would be the car that I would want if I had a $700,000. Matt? Did you say you're planning on testing other speakers comparable to P5s? The B50s are really awesome. So I would spend the extra couple $100 and get the PSB B50s. B as in boy. What are B50s? I think $600 a pair. They're really sweet. So they're part of the Imagine series, and I would highly recommend those. But Jeff from JTR is going to make me something at some point for the garage. It's going to be really sick. Noble Armo says my Panasonic TV VCR was the GOAT. No way, man. The Sony Trinitron, flat panel or flat screen was the best. But man, those things all sucked. What's the OG spec home TV of choice? Model number if possible. My favorite at the moment is the G4 LG. So any of the, it's OLED for sure. I like the G4 the most. I'm actually going to put the Samsung 95D, which is the anti-glare version of OLED, in my garage at some point. So depending on if we become a Sony dealer or not, we'll see. But Sony's great too. So Sony and LG, I mean, I have both. The Sony has generally better scaler, a better processor, I should say. We used to call it a scaler. But LG, I generally prefer how LGs look. Let's see. Golf 007 SD2 says, Matty, price does not always indicate quality, hence that DA orbital you like better than the Rupes. Yeah, I agree. I mean, price is a good place to start. Start at the top and go from there. But there's many times where things you don't necessarily want the most expensive. Take paint, for example. They have like a lot of times, like, you go to Sherwin-Williams and they have these more expensive paints, and they generally aren't better. It's just more expensive paint. You're better off buying. It's the same thing with the Benjamin Moore line. So yeah, not always the case. Let's see. How do I know if Presto bottles are the new ones? They don't exist yet, so there are no new ones. So the ones on the site are the original ones. We'll tell you for sure when the new ones come out. Hey Matt, any recommendations on water softener systems for a 2-bedroom sized home? You can't go wrong with calling up Kinetico, Kinetico, Kinetico. They're a franchise, but they have a pretty decent system. You're going to pay a substantial amount for it. If not, you just kind of search around and find some local place. The Canadian store was due to open in September, but we had all kinds of legal crap, and we were waiting on Shopify to push an update to the markets program so that way we could make sure that Canadians could buy stuff in the proper currency. We could transition or transfer the money to a Canadian business account, and we also wanted to be able to buy stuff that wasn't available in Canada yet and still be able to add it to your cart. So we were waiting on that update. That update was just pushed. So we're, probably, we'll get it done as soon as we can. Let's see. I've been really enjoying the Garage Build series. Thanks. I'm more than happy to purchase the Comet. Lots of people want that Comet. Will you guys figure out the issues to run a dual active 2.0 or scrap the idea? I kind of scrapped it. I just don't think it would be viable long term. Let's see. What's something you've been looking for but never seen anyone make yet? That's a good question. I'm sure I've had like 50 things. Most of them we're making. One thing that we're working on that doesn't really exist is a quick, easy do-it-yourself solution to swap your garage tracks with black powder-coated version. That's going to be sick. I actually have a sample on my desk. I don't want to give away all my secrets here, but we got a lot of stuff on the go. So that's something I think is going to be really, really cool. So you're going to be able to replace your garage tracks. You're also going to be able to replace, normally they just do some like unistrut strap or whatever that little strapping is to hold your garage tracks up that's super ugly. And so I have a really DIY friendly solution. You're going to be able to measure your garage, measure your radius. Most garage, the radiuses are universal. Just a question of how many pieces do you need to put it together. And it's something you could do it yourself in a couple of hours. Just take one piece of track off at a time and replace it. And so we're going to really look at developing a garage door upgrade solution with the installation with tracks to get rid of that sort of ugly looking galvanized crap. That's a good question. If I think of something else, I'll let you know. Let's see. I'm looking for a 75 to 85 inch TV. What would you recommend? Something that's not north of 4 to 5K. I think I would do a C4 77 or 83 inch LG OLED. So that's I think those are like $4,500. You could go down to a B4, and that would certainly be below it. Are you still considering ELAC as a next PSB level for a speaker for Obsessed Home Theater? Yes, we are considering those. We need to do some more testing on them, though. Will Cree Lighting be part of the Black Friday sale? Yes, it will. There aren't many things. I think Rupes is excluded. What else is excluded? There isn't much. Yeah. There isn't much that is excluded in the sale. Let's see. Yeah, that Carrera S is perfect. It's still up there. But yeah, 25,000 miles is a lot for me. Matt, I was wondering if you ever heard of MJJC Foam Cannon 3.0. It is the best. No, it's not. Also, I just got the Krenza. Yes, I've heard of it. It's a Chinese junk. Also, I just got the Krenza K1320 TS and a 15 amp circuit using there's no such thing as a 1.4 millimeter. It's 1.5 orifice. Nobody makes a 1.4 that I know of. And if they do, don't use it because it's probably something super janky. Someone convinced him to make a 4S Ruby Star Neo. That's a freaking girl, pink. I'm not a girl. I don't want a pink car. Get out of here. No way. I'm not doing it. You don't want to see that driving in the neighborhood, a freaking pink car. Get out of here. Matt, for dancing around the $100,000 mark for a Porsche Cabriolet, thoughts on 718 Boxster GTS or Boxster S? Always likes the Boxster line. Have always liked the Boxster lineup for a nice, fun car without breaking the bank. Yeah, I mean, Boxster GTS would be sick. Because you're going to spend more like 125, 130 to get the Spider. But yeah, I mean, 718 Boxster GTS, do sole over axle pipes, get rid of or disconnect the valves, get it in a manual, get Burmester if you can find a car with Burmester if you're going to order it. I love that thing. I think that'd be great. And if you get, the GTS 4.0 would be the way to go. Matt, do you take advantage of credit card point systems? If so, which ones? Amex. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I take advantage of it, but I get tons of points. So I have the Chase Inc., like the Chase Reserve Inc. or whatever. And then I have, I have it right here. Which one is it? Which gives me a freaking zillion points because we buy most stuff on that. Chase Business Premier Inc. I think I have to pay an annual fee for that, but I get tons of points. And then I have, personally, I'm going to transition. I got to go talk to Susie about that. But I use the American Express. I just started using the American Express Delta version. I'm going to get the Sapphire version. I'm surprised I haven't been offered a Centurion card, the black card, yet. And then for business, most of our business expenses, I have a Chase or an Amex corporate Amex. So I'm sure that I'm not getting the best points, but I don't really care. I mean, I get 10, 12, 15 million points, 10 million points a year, something like that. So, probably 10 million total points a year, and so I use that to travel or just get cash back on cards, on just make purchases with the points. But yeah, so Amex, I have Amex Platinum Delta personally, and then a Merrill Lynch card, and then I have the Amex Corporate. Once you get to a certain level, you get a corporate card, which means it's not a personal guarantee anymore. It's based on the corporation's credit. So I just transitioned to Amex Corporate and then the Chase Business Premier. And then I just book all my travel on that. Will you offer paint to sample garage tracks? Maybe. I mean, we might be able to do that. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people would take their tracks off and paint them black, but then that doesn't hold up as well as the powder coating will. It's going to be really cool. Wait till you see what we have. And it's not going to be crazy expensive. It's something that you'll pay for the convenience of it, so you don't have to take your tracks off or order some tracks and send them to powder coating. We'll just have them measure, we'll give a click the button, and we'll be good to go. So Sonic, Rupes, CR Spotless, Benpack, NAD, Nussbaum, Rupes, and Milwaukee are not eligible for Black Friday. I talked about the Mera update earlier, Colton. Are the wand, hose, nozzles, etc. that come with the ultimate active solution identical to if you bought them individually? Yes. If you buy a package, it should just add up to the individual prices. I never understood that. So I got to do all this extra work to make a package, and then I make less money on it. That's stupid to me. It doesn't make any sense. Thanks, MW. Appreciate your support, man. You're always supporting. Thanks for the super chat. I greatly appreciate it. It doesn't go unnoticed. Let's see, where was I? Hey, Matt, will there be a quick disconnect for the Griot's Boss foam cannon? Well, Rusty is no longer in that. He sold his business, and he's the one who made them for me, so we'd have to do something. I think I'm going to hang tight and see what happens with the Mosmatic, because the Mosmatic is quick disconnected as part of the thing. Yeah, I have a Cayman GTS 4.0 with Burmester, and the car is absolutely amazing. Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, that's what I had. I just sold it. The only reason I sold it was because it... what did I trade that for? No, I sold it. I just sold it to... that's right. I was trying to trade it in on a GT4 RS, but I couldn't do it. So I just sold it back to the dealership. Let's see. Will you still be entered to win giveaways if purchasing from a Canadian store? Yes, we'll have that set up for Canadian store as well. What do you think of the next line of Obsessed Garage will be? Garage, home theater, destination, etc. Hopefully the next line is Marantz. We're pitching Marantz. JTR is the newest line. Wait till you see what we're planning with JTR, man. You guys are going to be freaking pumped. We're going to make just a full suite of home solutions for like family room. It's going to be sick. For the garage, the DI solution will be launched here soon, and who knows what else. Have you ever considered ViewSonic display or TV? Not in many, many years. Matt, when is the OG tool set with all the different brands coming out? We just spent an entire day yesterday working on that. And I think that we're probably 2 or 3 months away from getting that set up. But Nick's going to start working on that right now. So anyway, will there be an open house when HQ is all set up and done? For sure. We're really not going to have open houses anymore. We're just going to have Cars and Culture every week. So we'll have an open, or every month. We'll have an open house every month. Favorite color to pair with carbon fiber exterior accents like on your E92? I mean, I think white and carbon fiber looks the best. Any more tool or dry ice giveaways coming up? I don't have anything planned, but you never know with me. Sometimes I can get crazy. Let's see, the Evo and the GT3 are parked out back here, so they're here for tomorrow. That's great. So anyway, I got to go do this creek call for the RR Buildings project. So anyway, thanks everybody for your questions. Hope to see some of you tomorrow on Cars and Culture. If not, maybe I'll see you out at one of them in the future. Lots of cool stuff coming. Love your support on Black Friday. Let's make this the biggest one ever. I think this one has the potential to be really big this year. So I really appreciate the support. And thanks for all you guys have done, supporting us this year. And lots of cool stuff coming up here soon. Thanks for watching. See you soon. I go work on pricing of some of that crap. And then meet with those guys.